Welcome back to the channel. You know, when you think about Justin Bieber, the last word that probably comes to mind is broke. We've seen him on yachts, heard about his million-dollar homes, and watched him grow up in the spotlight with hit after hit. But according to a new TMZ documentary, things weren't as perfect as they seemed. It's called TMZ Investigates: What Happened to Justin Bieber. And honestly, what they uncovered is pretty heartbreaking. It turns out that just a few years ago, in 2022, Justin was on the verge of financial collapse. We're talking about someone who had reportedly earned between $500 million and $1 billion over his career. And yet, somehow, he was so low on cash that he had to sell his entire music catalog. And not for $1 billion, not even half that. He sold it for $200 million. That may sound like a lot, but when you've already made 5 times that, it's really not. Sources close to him told TMZ that the decision wasn't made casually. He felt like he didn't have a choice. His finances had taken such a hit that selling his music was the only way out. And here's the part that really hits. His manager, Scooter Braun, reportedly advised him to wait just 1 more month. If Justin had held off until January 2023, he could have gotten a significant tax break. But he didn't wait. He needed the money now. So he sold in December. Now, let's pause there for a second. Justin Bieber is the youngest major artist to ever sell his catalog. Most artists who do this are in their 50s, 60s, or even older. People who are wrapping up their careers. Justin? He's not even 30 yet. He's still making music, still touring. But he had to give up the rights to the songs that made him who he is. And that says a lot. The documentary doesn't just talk about the money. It also shows what Justin's been going through behind the scenes. The health issues, the pressure, the isolation. Fame hasn't been easy for him. And at some point, it seems like everything just started falling apart. Financially, emotionally, maybe even spiritually. And maybe that's the real story here. Not just the money, but the cost of being famous so young. The people around you making decisions. The lifestyle you're expected to keep up. The business side that gets ignored until it's too late. So here we are, one of the biggest pop stars in the world, forced to sell the very thing he built his legacy on, just to stay afloat. Was it bad financial planning? Was he taken advantage of? Or was he just tired and trying to protect what little piece he had left? That's what we're left wondering. And honestly, it makes you look at fame a little differently. Because if Justin Bieber can go from $1 billion empire to financial collapse, maybe no one is truly safe in this industry. If this story moved you or made you see things differently, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe to Clock Africa. We're here to tell the stories others won't. Stories that show the real price of fame. Thanks for watching.
When you're rolling in dough, all of this doesn't matter that much. When you're broke and you want to start blaming people, that's when it matters. I was on a call with multiple people. Justin's side acknowledges that in 2022, he was on the verge of, and the words were, financial collapse. And that's why he had to sell his catalog.
He was so broke in 2022 that he had to borrow Will Bracey, who was a member of the church.
His COO.
His COO. He had to borrow Will's credit card so he could go play golf. That's how broke he was. He could not afford a round of golf.
But it's not cheap to be the biggest pop star in the world.
You're good.
He is the biggest pop star in the world. Of course he has to charter jets. Of course he has mega mansions, which, by the way, we were told he paid cash for all the houses.
And it struck us when he made that sale and they announced the sale.
Justin Bieber just sold his music catalog for an estimated measly $200 million.
It was shocking.
We were all like, why is Justin Bieber at such an early stage in his career selling off his catalog? And there were other people who were selling their catalogs, but but they
they're
were
much
all
older.
much older. And so it was like, why is he selling
Sold
this?
out of
And I'm telling you,
desperation.
Justin, Haley, and Michael Rhodes,
his attorney.
went to Scooter and said, we got to sell this catalog. Scooter said no. And finally, when Scooter realized they were going to sell it, this was in December, Scooter said, at least wait until January because you'll get a tax break if you wait till January. And Justin said, I got to sell it now. And he sold it in December. That's how broke he was. But, you know, how on earth do you blow through $1 billion?